We're really good. There's bumps in the road, but yeah, every team has.
pulsating electricity here at Safeco Field for game number 162 of the 2014 season, with something on the line for your Seattle Mariners. Welcome to Mariner Baseball, everybody. It's the Mariners and the Angels. Good to have you with us for an all-important ball game. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers, Root Sports crew, and the king is on the mound, Felix Hernandez. 14-6, a 2.18 ERA. Second to Chris Sale, who's at 2.17. Felix, a chance for another Cy Young Award and an ERA championship, and moreover, chance to put the Mariners in position to play in a tie-breaking game tomorrow. First pitch of the ball game is outside for ball one. Oakland, a 2-0 lead, bottom of the fourth in Texas as we speak. Cole Calhoun looks at strike one.
And a quality strike from Felix. Again, a big key for Felix. He's going to be emotional about this one. The first couple of innings usually takes him to settle in. I'd like to see that last fastball on the outside corner and down. There's a good curveball from Felix, so quickly ahead of Calhoun.
Umpires today, Adrian Johnson, 39-year-old Texan in his 6th year. He's worked a couple of no-hitters in his career. You've got Chad Fairchild, Dan Bellino, and Bill Miller joining him today. And the K-chant already fired up. The 1-2. Got it! Good start. One down.
As I mentioned, Mike Stosha, manager for the Angels, putting the A-team in there today. We weren't sure how he was going to do it, but it's Calhoun. Trout. Want to be careful with Trout. 383 hitter with a couple of home runs against Felix in his career. Pujols, the DH today. Then it's Kendrick, Ibar, and Freese hitting in the middle of the lineup. Navarro, Cron, and Conger rounding out the 9 for the Angels. Take a look at this last pitch from Felix. Went right after him, just a good four-seam fastball on the outside corner and able to throw it by him after the curveball. So a good sign for Felix here early.
Strike one to Mike Trout. A 383 career hitter against Felix with 2 home runs, coming off an 0-for-3 outing last night. Top foul. Mariners coming off a stirring, stunning, emotional, gut-wrenching win 2-1 against the Angels last night. Pass those antacids, will you please, Mr. Blowers? You're going to share, aren't you?
It was exciting. It was frustrating at times, but they ended up getting it done. Put him in great shape for today.
The 0-2. Fouled back by Trout.
Take a look at Felix and what he has done this year. On his way to another Cy Young Award, a 2.18 ERA. It was an inning and 2/3 today scoreless. He will be ahead of Sale for the ERA title. 241 strikeouts, and opponents hitting just 202 against him.
The 0-2 to Trout. Down low. All in 2 strikes.
Another good sign. Good fastball from Felix at 94 miles an hour. If he's throwing 94 at the bottom of the zone, that's a good sign.
And this is a big boy test. The Angels, the division champs for this year. 3rd in batting average, 1st in runs, 2nd in hits, 3rd in doubles, 4th in home runs. Ball 2.
That looked like the changeup. Good changeup at 90 miles an hour.
And based on what we saw the other day in Toronto, he's got to get that changeup back to where it's been for most of the year. 2-2 to Mike Trout.
Well, he's thrown him 2 good ones, back-to-back changeups. That last one right at the bottom of the strike zone. Trout, this gets a lot of run to his changeup too. It'll go right into the right-handed hitters, and it looks like he hits this off of his foot, right off the top of his foot.
Oof. Man, that hurts. Good crowd last night, 32,716. It sounded like 132,716. Here's the 2-2 to Mike Trout. Strike 3, call 2 down.
An excellent pitch. 93 miles an hour on the outside corner. Looks like Felix has command early on. Take a look at it. After 2 changeups, paints a fastball, starts it off the plate away and runs it right back on the outside corner.
Rung up by Adrian Johnson. That brings up Albert Pujols. 271, 28 homers, 105 runs batted in. Breaking ball misses. Albert 7 for 35 with a homer against Felix. Good year for Pujols. 5th in RBIs in the American League. One-0. Just inside. A lot of positive thoughts running through this Seattle and Northwest region as a broken bat base hit center field off the bat and what's left of it for Albert Pujols.
And another good fastball, 93 miles an hour with some run on it. You can see it gets in just enough, saws the bat off. Take a look at the defense for the Mariners. Ackley in left field, Jackson in center, Michael Saunders getting the start in right, Kyle Seager at third, Chris Taylor the shortstop, Cano and Morrison on the right side of the infield, and Mike Zunino will do the catching.
Pujols at first, Howie Kendrick the hitter. Center field, backing up Jackson. He's there, and Felix off to a good start. Couple of strikeouts, gives up a harmless single. See if they can get him some early runs. Glad you're with us here at Safeco Field. Mariners and the Angels. Austin Jackson last night waiting for his teammates to come get him after that walk-off fielder's choice last night. And I talked to him after the game about that as he was stretching to get the first base. He said he thought about making a head-first dive, but he said, I just used that go-go gadget leg to stretch it out there and get there safely. Take a look at the rest of the batting order for today.
That was easy. It's the longest stride of the year. Leading off, it'll be Austin Jackson. Then it is Ackley, Cano, Morales, the DH hitting cleanup. Seager hitting fifth. Logan Morrison in September. What a job he has done for the Mariners. 333 with 5 home runs and 11 RBIs. 8 doubles for Morrison, including the huge one last night to tie the ball game up in the 7th. Saunders, Zunino, and Taylor rounding out the 9 for the Mariners.
Corey Rasmus, Mariners saw him back on Tuesday, September 16th. Inside ball 1. Top of the 5th in Arlington, Oakland with a 2-0 lead.
For Rasmus, good fastball. His fastball will be anywhere from 92 to 95 miles an hour. Best off-speed pitch is his curveball. Mix in a slider and a changeup. He'll probably go about 4 innings today.
That's what he went back on the 16th. 4 innings of 1-hit shutout ball. Struck out 4. 43 pitches. 2-0.
On the year, 3-1 record, the 2.38 ERA, 53 innings pitched for him, 54 strikeouts. Only hitting .201.
Breaking ball in the outside corner. I think these Angels are going to fare in the playoffs. Their pitching situation, the starting pitching situation.
I saw Shoemaker today. He was throwing a bullpen, so I'm sure Mike Scioscia was hoping for a good report on that. But you have Weaver and Wilson, and then they're hoping Shoemaker. But you're right, their starting pitching is hurting right now.
Jared Richards done for the year. Way outside, full count here to Austin Jackson. Angels division champions. Punch home field advantage throughout the American League playoffs. 3-2 here to Jackson. Out back upstairs. Jackson 0 for 5 last night. We got that fielder's choice RBI last night in the 11th to win the ball game. Rasmus taking his time. There we go, 3-2. Fly ball right center field. Here comes Trout. Says he's got it as he calls off Cole Calhoun. One away. Here's the rest of the Angels defensive setup.
In left field, it'll be Efren and Navarro. Can also play first, but in left today, Calhoun is in right. Freeze the third baseman. Ibar and Kendrick playing up the middle. CJ Cron DH last night at first base today. And Hank Conger will do the catching.
Dustin Ackley batting in a 2-hole. 1 for 4 last night. Hit by a pitch. 10th inning single. Ball 1 from Corey Rasmus. 26-year-old out of Columbus, Georgia. Lives in Phoenix City, Alabama these days. Gets it over. Howie Kendrick's head into right field for a base hit. First Mariner hit this afternoon. Dustin Ackley checking in with a base hit. 5-game hitting streak for him.
He's having some ankle issues. Missed a few games. Slow to get started again after swinging the bat extremely well. But lately, starting to pick it up again and gets on base here with 1 out. Solid line drive into right field. Way that the Mariners can put some pressure on the A's, score some runs early. The A's certainly aware of the fact that Felix is on the mound today. And like the Mariners, you know that they are scoreboard watching.
Cano for 4 in last night's ball game. Looks at ball 1. He's 0 for 3 against Rasmus.
Trout, the center fielder, shading towards left center. Straight up on the infield.
Last time against Rasmus, ground out, a strikeout, intentional walk, and an infield hit for Cano. 1-1.
Rasmus early on, if his velocity is down a little bit. We saw him in Anaheim. He was 93 to 95 miles an hour. We're seeing a lot of 90, 92s here early on.
Last time he started, that was on the 16th September. Mariners won that game 13-2. Chris Taylor drove in 3 runs that day. Taking off is Ackley. Up the middle. Howie Kendrick gets the stop. Throws out Cano. Howie saved a 2-on situation.
Well, you're absolutely right. If that gets past him, it's an easy first and third situation. Ackley running on the pitch. You can see the shortstop. Ibar was the one covering, so Kendrick was holding ground but able to make this play. And because Ackley was moving, he'll get himself into scoring position. So the first opportunity for the Mariners this afternoon.
Kendrick Morales 0 for his last 5. Looking for big things from him here. Breaking ball. 0-1. Morales hit a ball first inning last night. Jumped off his bat, got up in the air and like died.
A little bit of a breeze blowing in from left, similar to today. Today the wind blowing from left to right. Cool evening. You're right. Maybe he had a chance for extra bases, maybe even headed out of the ballpark. The Angels were able to run it down.
Very good crowd here this afternoon. We had 32,716. Looks like a bit more. It could be up in the 40,000 range today. 1-0 to Morales. Way out front.
Good change up from Rasmus.
15th year for Mike Scioscia. Team in the playoffs. When they won it in 02, they got to the playoffs as the wild card team. 1-1. Rasmus very deliberate. 2 out, man at second. 2-1 pitch here. Explodes that bat.
Another changeup right off the end of the bat. Morales using a cupped bat. They hollow out the end of it for better balance, and it looked like he hits it right off the cup. Splinters the bat. Again, a changeup.
Tomas Tellez just got a leadoff double for the Rangers. As they play in the bottom of the 5th. 2-2 to Morales. Struck him out. Mariners are done in the first. They strand Ackley at second. No score at Safeco Field.
hectic beginning for Felix Hernandez. A little spring in his step, perhaps, or maybe it's the K-Towels here at Safeco Field. Hi, everyone. Angie Mentink with you at the Ford Sports Desk, and we continue to watch the Oakland A's and the Texas Rangers. And I've got good news right now. Right now, Texas has runners on first and third in the bottom of the 5th inning with no outs. And by the way, since they allowed 2 runs, well, they have retired the last 11 batters. More news for you. Derek Holland, who was scratched yesterday with a migraine, has been warming up in the bullpen just in case Martinez has to come out of this game. Guys, back to you.
All right, Angie, thank you very much. Eric Ibar leads off here in the 2nd for the Angels, followed by David Freese and Efren Navarro, 5, 6, and 7 for the Angels. Felix, a couple of strikeouts. Gave up a base hit in the 1st to Albert Pujols. Broken bat single to center. Ibar, a .216 hitter against Felix. Drops in an off-speed pitch, 78 miles an hour. 1-2. White towels the last couple of nights. Tonight, the gold towels with the King's Court in session. 1-2. Struck him out. Strikeout number 3 for Felix as we play here in the 2nd inning.
He is being aggressive early in the ballgame. Another fastball, 92 miles an hour, well located, right on the outside corner and at the knees. Take a look at it. Felix is not being careful at all. He is just going right after the Angels. Good fastball at 92.
Keep them coming. Boy, dressed regally out there in right field. David Freese, strike 1. Angel third baseman. 1 for 2 last night. 0 against Felix with 4 strikeouts. Center field, Mr. Jackson, out number 2. Join the Mariners 2015 lineup as a season ticket holder. You're going to enjoy the lowest prices and outstanding benefits when you join the team. Plus, you're going to gain access to exclusive season ticket holder events and early gate openings throughout the 2015 season. To submit your deposit and secure your seat, log on to mariners.com/15. Quick 2 outs brings up left fielder Efren Navarro.
Navarro came into the game last night as a replacement, picked up a double, and you can see 0 for 7 against Felix in his career.
Bounce foul. Angels hitting just 134 against Felix in 4 starts this season. 2-0 with 2 no decisions. Covers it all, doesn't it? Here's a 1-1 pitch. There, first strike. Felix ahead, 1-2. Down low, blocked by Zunino. 2-2.
Another good change up in the dirt from Felix. That one at 90 miles an hour. When he's ahead of you, 0-2, 1-2. He likes to bury his changeup.
Sonny Gray had 1st and 3rd. Got a strikeout. Next guy hit into a double play. 2 pitches. He gets out of a jam. The 2-2 here. Felix fouled off by Navarro. A's and Rangers go to the top of the 6th. Mariners need a Rangers win and a win here today against the Angels. Of course, a tie-breaking game tomorrow, game number 163. The 2-2 struck him out. Felix Hernandez, a civic treasure here in Seattle. And he is on his game through 2 with 4 strikeouts. No score here at Safeco Field. Baseball here on Root Sports, being brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, presenting the Far Out comedy duo Cheech and Chong, November 8th. For tickets, go to emeraldqueen.com. By Alaska Airlines, the most non-stops to the most cities from Seattle. By Ford, we are local. And by AM/PM, too much good stuff. Wonderful atmosphere. Cloudy day this Sunday. It's Kids Appreciation Day. Kings Court in session. You got the Kings Court towels. Kids being celebrated here at Safeco Field. Glad you're with us here on Root Sports. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, and the Root Sports crew. Game number 162, and hopefully not the last of this 2014 season for the Mariners. There's Seager. Kyle Seager to lead it off. Logan Morrison and Michael Saunders to follow.
And the Angels with the shift on with Kyle hitting. Ivar, the shortstop, on the right side of the infield. Howie Kendrick out on the grass. You can see David Freese, just the only infielder on the left side of the infield.
Kyle 1 for 5 against Corey Rasmus.
Might be one of those situations, Dave, where Felix now in the dugout after a couple of innings. He may have to make a phone call down to the Rangers dugout and talk to his good buddy Adrian Beltre for a little run support in Arlington.
Great call. 1-1. Yo, Adrian, dude, seriously? Come on, give me some runs.
That's it. A couple of home runs from his good buddy Beltre would help.
Beltre 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. Here's a 1-2 to Kyle. And found into the glove of Hank Conger. On the way, it's back-to-back Ks for Rasmus. Here's Angie Minton.
Guys, thanks so much. Down in Arlington, Sonny Gray has thrown 62 pitches through 5 innings, but I guess that's the bad news, is he has gotten through 5 innings. Adam Rosales grounds into the 5-4-3 double play with runners on first and third, so the tying run on first base, but Sonny Gray wiggles off the hook. He's also got 5 strikeouts, but Nick Martinez settled down, retired the last 13 batters now, but it looks like he is going to be leaving the game as I speak, and Derek Holland coming in. Guys?
All righty, got to get those Texas bats cranking here. Here's Logan Morrison. Talked about him in a pregame show. Had him on quick interview, and he has been stellar. Look at this since August 6th.
A lot of damage for him. A .315 average, 6 home runs, 21 strikeouts over that time. So he's been putting the ball in play. And he's having a great month of September. 333 in the month of September. And I think for the most part, especially over the last couple of weeks with the offense struggling a little bit, when they've needed big hits, it's been Logan Morrison that's been able to come up with them, whether it's a home run or a double. He has been hot.
2 for 4 last night, drove in a run, had a base hit down the left field line, a right center field gap shot for 2 bases. This one fouled back, 1 and 2. 2 home run day in Toronto, the big 3-run homer against these Angels. Morrison slugging at .419. Coming into today's game, Cano leads at .454. 1 and 2. There you go, up the middle, base hit. Second Mariner hit.
We've just talked about the home runs, but he has done such a good job of not overswinging, staying within himself, especially with a couple of strikes on him. And again, just a solid line drive, base hit, able to get on top of a fastball, probably up out of the strike zone. But a line drive into center field. He has not changed his approach for the better part of a couple of months, and it's paying off for him and the Mariners.
There's Michael Saunders. 1 out, 1 on.
Saunders getting the start in the first game of this series. Hit a home run. Was 2 for 4 with a double and a home run. Drove in a couple of runs.
Big home run in the second inning. Foul off.
Rasmus using more changeups early in the count. When he was in Anaheim facing the Mariners, a lot of fastballs. Now he's going to his changeup a little bit more.
Saunders in last night's game potentially walked as a pinch hitter. 0-1 outside. Saunders a couple home runs his last 4 games. Got one against Houston and one we just talked about 2 nights ago against the Angels. 1-1 pitch. Trout having to give a lot of room. Going way back. Can't get it. Base of the fence. Here comes Morrison to third. Turning the corner. He's going to score. The Condor. RBI double. 1-0 Mariners. Michael Saunders coming up big. That's his 10th double. His 33rd run batted in.
For Saunders, he makes a really good adjustment. Sits on an off-speed pitch. Ends up in the middle of the plate, just above the knees. Take a look at our McDonald's Supermo in the swing of Saunders. Head right on the ball, barrels it up, line drive. Not an easy thing to hit a line drive over the head of Mike Trout, the center fielder. This was a rocket out to center field.
Mike Zunino, the hitter, chance to pick up an RBI. Pitch from Rasmus. In there for strike 1. Saluting the boys out in a bullpen and back in the dugout. There's the 0-1 to Mike Z. Swing and a miss. 0 for 3 against Corey Rasmus. Mike went 1 for 2 in last night's ball game. Oh, 2. Mike's seen a lot of that type of pitching against him. He's hit a couple of balls the opposite way hard this year. Key is laying off.
When you see the right-hander that has a good breaking ball commanded, if they throw him a fastball, typically it'll be in off of the plate. That pitch right down the middle. But they'll try to throw it in off the plate and then get him out with the breaking ball away.
Derek Holland retired his first hitter, so A's lead still at 2-0 at Texas in the 6th. Bottom half of the 6th now. Michael Saunders just giving the Mariners a 1-0 lead. A 1-2 pitch to Zunino. Seager started the inning, struck out on a 1-2 pitch. Morrison on a 1-2 pitch, single to center. And on a 1-1 pitch, Saunders hit one over Trout's head off the base of the fence in deep right center field. Two. Mike Zunino, most homers by a catcher in a season this season with 22. New standard for the Mariners.
Great power year for Mike Zunino. Doesn't need to stop there at 22. He can add to that number. 162 today.
I'm in. Martin just tried to punt his way on, and Sonny Gray made a terrific play going to third base, throwing him out. There's a 1-2. Stays alive. Popped it up. It'll get out of play.
And that was the breaking ball again, right off the outside corner.
Good stuff here at Safeco Field. Tremendous walk-up. Looks like they're still coming in. It's filled up since we came on the air. One-two pitch to Zunino. Booth next to ours.
Seen Rasmus do this a number of times, throw the fastball up out of the strike zone, elevated fastball after the breaking ball. Mike able to get a piece of it, foul it back. You mentioned the game down in Anaheim, the Mariners, Rasmus in that start, the Mariners scoring 13 runs. That was after he left the game. He pitched well against the Mariners, did not give up any earned runs. And the Mariners really went after the bullpen of the Angels. See his pitch count climb on 36 pitches as he works here in the second inning.
The middle portion of that bullpen, not a strong suit. Back end's really good. 1-2. The left field, Navarro coming in. Efren makes the catch, and they're 2 away. It is now time for you to tweet your photos using the hashtag MarinersFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown later in the game, brought to you by AT&T. Here's Chris Taylor, Mariners shortstop. Ball for strike. Elvis Andrus just delivered a 1-out infield single for the Rangers.
Chris Taylor with a base hit in the 11th inning. Brad Miller up to third, eventually scored on the fielder's choice and won the game off of Jackson.
Ball right at him. Mariners are done in the second, but they get a run on 2 hits, no errors, and leave a man. Michael Saunders drove it in. Felix and the Mariners lead 1-0. here on Root Sports, being brought to you by AARP and the State Attorney General's Office, working to protect you from consumer scams and fraud with AARP Fraud Watch Network. By BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Jack in the Box, right now at Jack in the Box. By Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo for just $4.99 plus tax. Big thank you to all you Mariner fans for supporting this ball club, this franchise this year. It's been a wonderful year. First winning season, most wins, I should say, since the 09 season when that club went 85-77. C.J. Cron to lead it off. Followed by Hank Conger and Cole Calhoun, 8-9-1. Strike one, Felix with 4 strikeouts through the first 7 men that he's faced.
28 pitches, 20 strikes for Felix.
Wake wave, 0-2.
I haven't seen the slider, but he looks as if he has a good curveball. That last pitch, a curveball, and a great changeup today.
That's the difference between, difference from the last start in Toronto, where he couldn't really master it that day. There's the 0-2. Struck him out. Yes. He's on fire. That's 5 Ks. We're only in the 3rd. Let's check in with Angie Menting.
Guys, thanks so much. We're in the 7th inning. Derek Holland on the mound for the Texas Rangers in the 7th inning. But once again, somehow, someway, Oakland manages to get out of it. Elvis Andrus on first with 1 out, but Rougned Odor bounces into the double play. It does take a while. 4, 3, 6, and then finally 4 double play. Still 2-0 in the 7th, guys.
Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Keep hope alive. Swing and a miss by Hank Conger. Hank 1 for 8 career against Felix. 218 hitter.
Mariners will put the shift on with Conger hitting. Kyle Seager on the right side of the infield.
Big crowd here at Safeco Field. Mariners trying to earn their way into a tiebreaker. Top of the 7th, Derek Holland, 2 quick outs for the Rangers. Trying to catch those jokers on the left. Two and 2. Two pitch from Felix. Strike 3 called. He knew it. Half a dozen strikeouts. Felix Hernandez struck out 6 of the first 9 that he's faced.
This looks like a fastball. He's been able to put him away with a good fastball. I think a lot of them are looking for the changeup. This one 92 miles an hour. It's right in the middle of the plate. Conger just looks at it.
Begins his 2nd tour through the order. Conger striking out back to the top of the order. Cole Calhoun, he struck out on a 1-2 pitch to open up the ball game. Chops this one foul. He's outfitted nicely. He's sort of wandering with his gaze. And he'll be up cheering. Count gets 2 strikes. Felix is allowed 1 hit. 1-1 pitch. Chop foul again. Mariners lead 1-0. One out, second inning double by Michael Saunders. Scored Logan Morrison, who had singled to center right before him. Here's a 1-2 pitch. 2-2. The 2-2 to Cole Calhoun. Strike him out. He strikes out this side. Felix getting it done here early with 7 strikeouts. 1-0 Mariners. The bottom of the third here at Safeco Field. We take a look at our Coors Banquet timeless moment. And earlier today, Jordan Zimmerman of the Nats, their first no-hitter. It goes against Henderson Alvarez. 9 innings, 1 walk, 10 Ks. And how about last season, Henderson Alvarez, he pitched a no-hitter in game number 152. The first Nationals no-hitter. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers, Root Sports crew here, and Felix Hernandez certainly on top of his game, striking out 7 through the first 3. Top of the order here, Austin Jackson. Drop down a bunt, strike 1. Mariners lead on a second inning RBI double by Michael Saunders.
And you can see Sonny Gray, pitcher for the Oakland A's, moving into the 7th inning. Bad news, he's been really good today. He's only thrown 70 pitches. He goes into the 7th. So he's in good shape in his pitch count.
The 1 pitch. High bar to his left. Nice play. 1 down here in the 3rd. Stick around after the game. Mariners post game presented by Delta Airlines. Brings up Dustin Ackley, a base hit to right field in the first inning. Corey Rasmus struck out 2, giving up a run on 3 hits. 0-1.
Rasmus, his high as far as pitch count goes as a starter is 59. He is now at 43.
They do have action out on the bullpen. Joe Thatcher. Two-0 to Oakland. Jake Smolinski, a little home run last night for Texas, just flied out to the warning track in right field. Bottom of the 7th, 2 outs. Oakland up 2-0 against the Rangers. Swinging a miss, breaking ball. 2-2. Full count. Ackley got the Mariners' first hit. That was in the first inning. As you look at Robinson Cano, who will wait second inning. Morrison, a single, and the RBI double by Saunders. Strikes out. Breaking ball got him. That's a 3rd strikeout by Rasmus. Mariners RBIs matter both on and off the field. For every Mariners RBI during the 14th season, PACCAR makes a donation to the Page Ahead Children's Literacy Program. Mariners thank PACCAR for their support in our community. Brings up Cano. Rounded out to second. To the 8th they go. Oakland up 2-0.
And only 78 pitches for Sonny Gray.
Ball 1. Pitch. I don't remember Rasmus being this deliberate when we saw him 12 days ago.
No, I don't either. And again, his velocity is down. I wonder how he feels. He got Thatcher, the lefty, up. He was up last inning too. So his next pitch will be 50 for him.
Two-0 to Cano. Stings it, smothered by Ibar. There's that man again. He's amazing. Ibar shows us something every time the Mariners and Angels hook up. 1-0 Seattle. of a pitching heck of a ball game as we take a look at the Mariners calendar, hoping for some late inning excitement from the Texas Rangers, who trail 2-0 to the A's right now. And if that happens and the Mariners were to win here today, tie-breaking game would be right here tomorrow at 1:07 Pacific time. Wild card action begins on the 30th on Tuesday. National League on October 1st. Felix holding up his end right now. 7 strikeouts through the first 10 men that he's faced.
He has looked really good. Has everything working for him. He's been able to locate his fastball on both sides of the plate. And you can see Felix now, as far as the American League ERA leaders, just went ahead. Chris Sale from Chicago. He's also had a good curveball. His changeup has been excellent.
Mike Trout to lead it off. Strike one. Felix started today 4th in strikeouts behind Kluber, Price, and Scherzer. He's got 7 already. Gets into 248. Scherzer's at 252. Trout called out on strikes. First time up. 2-1. Trout, Pujols, and Kendrick 2-3-4 here in the 4th inning for the Yankees. And careful, 3-1. Albert Pujols on deck. Broken bat single to center field.
When you look at the Angels, Trout is the one you want to be careful with. The .383 hitter in his career against Felix.
Taylor charges. Trout can really run. Got him. 1 out. Make sure you get downtown from the airport for only $2.75 on Sound Transit's light rail. See how easy it is. SoundTransit.org. Here's Albert Pujols. He's got the only hit for the Angels this afternoon. Albert didn't like that call. Strike one. Bottom of the 8th inning. Oakland 2-0 at Texas. Foul ball, not by a lot. Well, if you ever wanted to send a good vibe down to Texas, you may want to start launching right now.
I was thinking the same thing.
0-2 to Pujols. Felix steals. Put it in play. Taylor throws out Pujols. 2 away. Most popular way to follow the wild card races is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcast, the MLB TV game of the day, and more. Get at bat for your smartphone or tablet from the App Store or visit Mariners.com.
Howie Kendrick 0-for-1. Fly ball to center field his first time up. Sonny Gray still in the ball game, moving into the bottom of the 8th inning. Again, he's only thrown 78 pitches to get to the 8th inning.
Breaking ball, strike one to Howie Kendrick. Felix 2-0 with 2 no decisions against the Angels this season. And Chris Taylor, it's another chance. And he throws out Howie Kendrick. He had all 3 assists. Lomo had all 3 putouts. 1, 2, 3. Go the Angels in the 4th. Kendrick, Morales, Seager, and Morrison going up.
number 162. The Mariners that needed Felix to be the king, and so far 7 strikeouts. Hi everyone, Angie Mentink here at the Ford Sports Desk. You know, all season long, the Oakland A's Sonny Gray has been very wild. 74 walks, that's 3rd most in the American League. Today so far, he has none. All right, an update from Arlington now, and we wanted Beltre to give a little offense. He does give us a little bit of defense. Coco Crisp at the plate, and watch this double play turned by Adrian Beltre. Fantastic. Right now, guys, that game in the 8th inning. Sonny Gray hasn't walked anybody, but he did just hit a batter, and so the tying run is at the plate.
Like the sound of that. It's a good home run yard, Mike.
I agree. Rosales is the batter. Played for the Athletics. I think he would like to deliver some pain right here on the last day of the season.
Morales struck out in a 2-2 pitch. He leads it off here in the 4th, followed by Seager and Morrison. One-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Mariners have the lead thanks to Michael Saunders' 1-out RBI double in the 2nd inning. Way inside.
Joe Thatcher up to the 3rd inning in a row out in the pen for the Angels. 53 pitches now for Rasmus. Again, as high as a starter is 59 pitches, so he's reaching his limit.
Breeze flowing from left to right field here at Safeco Field this afternoon. 2-1 pitch here to Morales. There's somebody cheering, "Let's go Rangers." That's what I thought I heard. Right. 3-1. Yeah, 2 outs, bottom 8, 2-0 Oakland. And Morales going to get another bat. Great crowd, tremendous walk up here today after last night's thrilling, exciting win. Upper deck left field. I tell you what, that's filled up nicely since first pitch back at 110. Three-one pitch coming here to Morales. Takes it for a strike. Full count. Leonys Martin just grounded out, so the Rangers are done in the home 8th in Arlington. Three and 2 here to Morales, and that's ball 4. Good start. First walk in the ballgame.
And Mike Scioscia going to make a pitching change, going to get Joe Thatcher, the left-hander.
But Joe Thatcher will take over. Mariners have a 1-0 lead here in the 4th with a man aboard. Kyle Seager will hit when we get back. Columbia Bank difference of the game. Take you back to the second inning. That's a great stroke there by Michael Saunders.
Swinging the bat well now. Had a home run and a double in the first game of this series, and he drives in the one run so far as Morrison, who had a base hit, will score from first on the double to center field by Saunders.
Rasmus has reached his limit of 55 pitches.
3+ innings, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Dave mentioned 55 pitches, 35 strikes for Rasmus.
Morales, the runner at first, not holding him on. Seager slaps one foul.
And you can see why Socha went to Thatcher. Side armor. Fastball, mid upper 80s, and that slider. Seager, Morrison, Saunders, all lefties due up.
One in there for strike. Infield hit, a throwing error by Beltre. A's top of the ninth. Leadoff man aboard. Second base. Josh Donaldson at the plate. 0-2 to Seager. Trying to add to this 1-0 lead. Felix throwing a heck of a ball game through 4 with 7 strikeouts. 1-2 to Seager. We're talking about pregame show coming into Safeco Field. The buzz amongst all the folks in the building who work for the ball club. Clubhouse was the same. They had guys. The music was super loud. They had football on. They had guys sitting and chatting. They had guys working on their laptop, not their laptops, their iPads and whatnot, checking things out. A lot of good vibe there. Seager can't catch up to that breaking ball. 1 out.
Take a look at the breaking ball from Thatcher. Again, sidearm delivery to the left-hander. It's just a sweeping breaking ball off the outside corner.
Certainly a fun time coming to the ballpark today. Seager K, second time is Herrera getting ready. Aaron is hottest hitter right now, Logan Morrison. That gets to the hole. Morrison continues to swing a hot bat. 2 for 2. In Texas, they changed it from base hit error to 2 errors on Beltre.
And Logan, over the last couple of weeks, starting to be a little more aggressive early in counts, and he jumps on a first pitch fastball. Finds a hole on the right side of the infield. A good situation for the Mariners again. With Saunders coming to the plate, Saunders has driven in the 1 run for the Mariners.
Logan Morrison thrilled to be healthy all year. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, going to come out.
So far 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Saunders was able to drive Morrison in when he was at first base on his double.
See what gives here. 2 on, 1 out. Morales thing. I'm not going anywhere. See my stolen base numbers?
looked as if he was going to work hard to get a good secondary lead, though, because he took a step towards third.
Strike one. Threatened here, 1 out, 2 on. Goes the other way, and it's going to get down. Morales coming around third. He's going to score. Morrison to third. He's there safely. Double for Saunders. Another RBI and a 2-0 Mariner lead. Quite a day for the Condor.
Talked about it in the first game of the series. He drove in a couple of runs, and they'll pick up the second run for the Mariners right here. Good pitch from Thatcher. That's his fastball in the outside corner, and Michael right across the end of the bat dumps it down the left field line.
Morrison all the way around to third. So another pitching change by the Angels. Mariners have a 2-0 lead.
One nothing, but thanks to Michael Saunders, it is now 2-0. Watch the Kings court stand up, and here comes Kendrys Morales. Clearly it was that fantastic secondary lead, or maybe it was the fact that it was down the left field line. Hi everyone, Angie Mentink here. We want to thank everyone who has tweeted in their photos all season long. We show you today's Mariners fan photos. On our last day, we show Randy and his friends showing their support for the King, and we have Kelsey and some Cougs supporting the Mariners. Clearly, they're not old enough to be the hunting cougar variety. They're the young college co-ed variety. Guys, back upstairs to you.
Okay, Angie, thank you very much. A 2-0 lead for the Mariners. They got runners at second and third. Mike Zunino's going to be the hitter as he faces Yoselin Herrera. Herrera pitched a scoreless inning in Friday night's 4-3 Mariner win.
Angels will bring their infield in.
First pitch to Zunino. Strike one.
For Herrera, a 2.81 ERA, only 16 innings pitched for him, but 12 strikeouts. He's walked 9 batters. Yet to give up a home run. Started Mike off with the first pitch breaking ball.
One, two. Intentional walk and infield single. Loaded them up now for the Athletics. Top of the ninth with a 2-0 lead at Texas. Broken bat looper. That'll score one. And they're going to wave Saunders with a good speed. He's going to score. So a 2-run single from Mike Zunino. Nice work. Mike picking up RBIs 59 and 60. 4-0 Mariner lead. And that was on a 2-strike count.
And it looked like it was a pitch that was in off the plate. See Conger set up in the middle of the plate. Changeup running in on his hands. Mike strong enough to hit it over the shortstop's head and pick up a couple of RBIs for the Mariners. 2 strikes, just trying to protect. Mariners 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position this afternoon.
A big improvement last night. 1 for 11. Night before 0 for 7. 1 for their last 18 entering tonight. Fly ball. Long run for Trout. Calls off Calhoun, makes the play. Mike Zunino, 0-2 pitch here. Look what happens to that bat.
Well, he tries to pull his hands back inside to help him get the barrel to it, but he ends up breaking his bat. The good news, he picks up a couple of RBIs, so the Mariners in good shape here.
Has 2 runs charged to Thatcher. Top of the order, Austin Jackson again. Looks at a strike. He's 0 for 2. Wide to center, ground out to short.
Hector Santiago getting loose in the pen.
On 1. Kendrick's not going to glove that one. Calhoun comes in. So Zunino to second. Austin Jackson with a base hit. Bring up the 8th man to the plate here in the 4th inning. Dustin Ackley.
Well, Herrera wondering what's going on. He was able to jam Zunino. Zunino picks up a base hit and drives in 2. And this is off the end of the bat. Breaks his bat. Calhoun charging the ball, trying to keep Zunino from getting the 3rd.
So Ackley with 2 outs, 2 on. 4-0 Mariners. 3 runs in. Felix checking the scoreboard. And not happy with what he sees, and I understand.
Fans too. You can hear the fans as soon as they posted it.
Jed Lowry, 2-run singles, just extended the Oakland lead to 4-0. Top 9 as they chase Derek Holland. Oh, 2 to Ackley. 2 out, 2 on. Back. Sun breaking through here this afternoon. There's the 0-2 to Ackley. Actually, the 8th man to bat here in the 4th inning. Herrera, the 3rd pitcher this afternoon for Mike Scioscia's crew.
Herrera and Conger having a tough time getting on the same page. Herrera keeps shaking him off. Hank decided to make a trip out to the mound.
Mike Scioscia, 6th division title. Playing with Dino Ebel. One-two pitch. Struck him out. Mariners get 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, leave 2. And Felix and company lead it 4-0 as we head to the 5th.
To the 5th inning, the Mariners lead it 4-0. I said it earlier. It's not like we're scoreboard watching today. It's like we're in a staring contest with the scoreboard, or we're scoreboard gawking. Unfortunately, it's the same score now down in Arlington, 4-0. Jed Lowry at the plate. I don't know where the second baseman, Rougned Odor, was going. He was breaking towards second. The ball basically right by him. Right now in the top of the 9th, it's 4-0 Athletics. Guys, back to you.
All right, Angie, thank you very much. 4-0 Mariners here, top of the 5th. Eric Ibar leads off. Let's see how Felix bow his neck a little bit more. You can see he sunk down a little bit when he saw that score posted. He heard the reaction, looked at the board, and saw 4-0.
Well, we also showed him on the pregame show, and he was realizing how important this game was, and he was scoreboard watching, just like the rest of the guys. All of them are. And,
come on.
And I think for him, he's having such a great game. He just needs to take care of his business. They still will have to move to the bottom of the 9th inning and see that he can get some help from the Rangers, but he's certainly aware that he needs to take care of his business, and so far he's been brilliant.
7 strikeouts through 4 innings. He's got a 1-1 pitch here. This fouled back 1-2.
Brandon Maurer getting loose in the pen for the Mariners.
Felix has dropped his ERA down another notch at 2.15. Bouncing ball played by Morrison. Felix there on the spot, 1 away. Sonny Gray still on the mound for the Athletics as they begin the bottom of the 9th inning. Now 4-0 Oakland lead.
A couple of runs probably helped that decision for Bob Melvin. He had Sean Doolittle up in the pen. With a couple more runs on the scoreboard, he's going to stay with Gray.
Here's David Freese, third baseman. Let's go Rangers cheer going up again. Freese flied out to centers first time. Ball one. Sonny Gray, no runs on 5 hits. That Texas game, if that game goes final and Oakland wins it, do you think Lloyd will just take Felix out? I would anticipate he would take him out and let him have that ERA championship.
I think so.
Pretty sure that's what he's going to do. Flat out. Let's go Texas.
He's going to hear the fans
2-1.
chanting. Good pitch right on the outside corner. Didn't get the call. Adrian Johnson, the home plate umpire today.
Rewind. Cano at the right spot. 2 outs. - 12 consecutive batters retired by Felix Hernandez. Efren Navarro, the hitter, he struck out on a 2-2 pitch in the second inning. Felix with 7 strikeouts. He got 7 through the first 3 innings. Rounded some strikes.
Yeah, good changeup again at the bottom of the strike zone. He's consistently been at the bottom of the zone today.
Two and one. Two outs, nobody on. A 2-1 pitch. Easy play for Lomo. Takes him right to the bag. So Felix has thrown 5 complete innings, 5-hit shutout ball, struck out 7. This could be the last time we see him for the season. Oakland Athletics are now away from clinching a spot in the playoffs, as the folks are watching here at Safeco Field.
Adrian Beltre at the plate. Sonny Gray still in the game.
Facing some harsh reality here on this last day of the season, and Lloyd McClendon and Mike Scioscia getting a lot of their making some changes in there. Tony Campana takes over in center field. Brennan Bosch in right. O'Malley at second. McDonald at shortstop. New pitchers Hector Santiago
back on that third.
Beltre just reached on a base hit.
Santiago a 3.81 ERA on the year. Starter most of the year.
I would imagine if it stays like this, Felix has thrown his 5. He's eligible to get the win. A one-hit shutout. His ERA's down to about 2.14 right now. He'll be in line to win his 15th ball game.
Well, barring a big rally, I think Felix will come out in the 6th inning, probably get loose, and Lloyd McClendon, who typically does everything right, probably go get him.
There's Robinson Cano to lead it off. Cano, Morales, and Seager here in the bottom of the 5th inning. First pitch to Robbie. Shadows a factor now with clouds going away and sun taking over. Oh, it's already pointing out what he wants to do. .14 the ERA for Felix to give him the ERA title. Beating Chris Sale's 2.17. Breaking ball, that's going to get down, base hit. Oh, looper for Cano. And it's over. Congratulations to the Oakland Athletics. They hung on. Just their 10th win over the last 30 games. They clinched a wild card spot, and the Mariners are eliminated. Michael, it's a great run nonetheless by these guys. Talking about the Mariners, a lot of fun, and we'll look back in a lot of games. Being shut out 19 times and 27 one-run decisions. But this
you're absolutely right. In a tough road trip to finish the year.
Yep.
You and I both talked about the schedule. We weren't fond of it, but things didn't go well for the guys on the road trip. But a good first year for Lloyd McClendon, new manager.
Great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got to be.
But I think, too, the one thing that you have to give them credit for is they had to come in knowing they had to sweep the Angels.
Right.
They even have this as part of the equation here. And they win the first 2 games out in front of this one, so they were doing everything they had to here on the final homestand. But as we just showed you, the A's win, so it didn't work out for the Mariners. Disappointing.
Indeed, especially when they get this close.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. We're talking about 13 years since the last playoff spot. 2-1, but I'll echo what many have said. Nobody expected this team to be in this position entering game number 162. No way, no how.
Without question.
Sure, foremost on Felix's mind right now is that game last week in Toronto. The game that Felix pitched, he had a subpar performance. Nice catch out there. Pitched well here today. Boy, he came out on fire. 7 strikeouts. The first 10 men that he faced. And again, dropped his ERA to 2.14.
And getting ready to pick up a lot of awards.
Yeah.
What a year.
I think he's good for another second Cy Young award. Ball's going to get out of play. There's the American League playoff picture. The fans acknowledging. You can hear a lot here. They got a standing ovation of Felix and the Mariners. How classy is this? standing and cheering as everybody has seen the number up on the scoreboard. They know it's over for 2014, but what a fabulous run by these Mariners. Classy move. Seattle, very classy. A little blooper, goes foul. Mariners with the most wins since '09 when they went 85 and 77. Bullpen, great year.
Best bullpen in the American League.
Absolutely. So as you turn our attention to 15, not turn them. My wife says, don't wish away any time by any stretch of the no imagination. But you got to get at least one, easy, at least 2 big boy bats. Plain and simple. Look at this squib. Alice is retired.
Cano will move on to second base.
Here's the American League playoff picture. Angels, as you know, they clinched the West. They have home field advantage. Tigers, David Price got the win today. Orioles clinched last week. For Kansas City, Oakland in the wild cards. And the wild card winner goes to the Angels, and Detroit plays Baltimore. All right, the obligatory question now: who do you like? I'd lean right now for Baltimore.
I think I would too.
I don't think this Angel pitching is going to hold up. This one popped up. It's playable. Third baseman.
Conger almost hit Beckham with his mask.
Yep.
I think I would lean towards Baltimore.
They can swing it. They got pitching. They have a good bullpen. Detroit's bullpen an issue.
You can still see Felix disappointed.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Brandon Maurer starting to get loose in the pen again. Logan Morrison having a good afternoon. 2 for 2, scored a couple of runs.
Final day of the regular season. Yankees win at Boston 9-5. Derek Jeter finishes with 3,465 hits. That's 6th all-time. And yes, he got an RBI single in his final at bat. That was in the 3rd inning, and Joe Girardi pulled him to a huge ovation at Fenway Park. To Morrison. Was 162nd games go, Mike? This was certainly the anticipation coming into this one. The best in our 8 years together, without a doubt.
Without question. Without question. And you could see the fans drawing over 2 million fans. Makes a difference. These guys have played this year.
Hopefully these fans will stick around and give them a huge ovation at the end of this ball game. 2-1. Shadows now a factor here. Cloud cover. Had a lot of fog blowing early this morning. Shortstop McDonald going back. Veteran John McDonald makes the play, and that'll do it. 6th inning coming up, 4-0 Mariners. festive atmosphere to get this game going. Game number 162. Mariners had a glimmer of hope to make the playoffs. They needed help from Texas, and they needed a big performance by Felix Hernandez. Well, he certainly delivered. 7 strikeouts through 5 innings. And he is en route. Things hold en route to his 15th win and an ERA title. C.J. Cron laid it off. Figured this would be his last batter. Lloyd will come get him if he doesn't come get him right now. Let's see. Lloyd's going to take his seat.
Thought it was interesting. It'd been great to have been in the dugout watching Lloyd have a conversation with Felix while the Mariners were hitting. Brandon Maurer continues to throw in the Mariner bullpen.
Felix has given up just 1 hit. Broken bat single in the first inning. Albert Pujols, 1-1 pitch. He's throwing with some anger right now. 2-1. Two-1 pitch. Set outside corner, 2-2. 7 strikeouts in the first 3 innings. He's retired 13 consecutive hitters here. Crowd on its feet now, waving those towels. Here's the 2-2 to Cron. And a ground ball to shortstop. Busy day for Chris Taylor. Throws him out, 1 away. Here comes Lloyd. This will be a great ovation. Heck, we're going to stand.
I agree.
This man is something else. Moment as Felix walks off, fans a huge ovation, hugs from his teammates. There's Ryan Stiles. Tough moment as about within the last half hour, Texas Rangers fell to the Athletics. Mariners were eliminated from the playoffs. Here's what Felix turned in today.
All he knew is that he had to step up big for the Mariners today, and he certainly did that. As you take a look at those numbers, 5 1/3 for Felix, giving up just 1 hit. 7 strikeouts over 5 1/3 through 68 pitches, 45 strikes.
And he wins the American League ERA title. He's at 2.14. If the Mariners hold on, this will be win number 15 for him, and heavy favorite to win the Cy Young Award. Would be his second. First was back in 2010.
Brandon Maurer will take over for the Mariners. A 4.76 ERA, 53 strikeouts in the 68 innings that he has worked.
Got Hank Conger here. 1-2. Jackson coming in, and will not be able to get it. Old Looper drops in off the bat of Hank Conger. Thank you, Mariner fans. Absolutely. Through the turnstiles. A lot bigger number than the early season projections. This team well worth coming out to see. If they win today, it'll be an 87-win team. I remember watching all the over-unders at the beginning of the season. They were talking 80-81. Maybe I think it's on 183. Here's Gordon Beckham. Pitching and defense.
Which, you know, hearing that would have been a huge improvement for the guys from last year.
71 and 91.
Yeah, exactly.
To come here. Surpass that and be with a break or two, a game of playing a tiebreaker, the chance of being in the playoffs. A doggone good year.
Playing meaningful baseball game 162.
Rodney, saves leader, high and deep down the line, and it's a foul ball. Well, 2 strikes. Strikeout, wild pitch. 2 outs. Moving up to second is Conger. Non-stop action, heart-pounding excitement, historic performances. Don't miss the 2014 postseason beginning September 30th.
Brad Miller going to come on there, taking out Robinson Cano.
Good year for Robbie in his first 10-year deal here in Seattle. Glad to have him, 7th leading hitter in the American League entering today. Cano to take a curtain call. Gives a hug to Lloyd McClendon, coach and staff. Bosch. Mariners got a run in the second, 3 in the fourth for this 4-0 lead. Two and one. This one popped up. It's playable. Taylor calling off Seager, and that'll complete the inning for the Angels. They get their second hit of the ball game, straight around 4-0 Mariners. They lead 4-0. Earlier, Texas succumbed to the Oakland Athletics 4-0. That gave the A's the second wild card position and eliminated the Mariners. Here we are playing bottom of the 6th inning. Hector Santiago on for the Angels, who are the division champs. Michael Saunders, the hitter. He's driven in 2 runs today, a couple of doubles. Santiago came on in the 5th inning, gave up a leadoff single to Cano, and then retired the next 3 hitters. Saunders an RBI double in the 2nd, another one in the 4th, and a 2-run single by Zunino in that 4th inning. Felix Hernandez, if you're just joining us, went 5 1/3 of 1 hit ball, 7 strikeouts. Lowered his ERA to 2.14, and that gives him the ERA title in the American League. In one. On 3rd of the order. Saunders, Zunino, and Chris Taylor. Felix going to the clubhouse.
Rick Waits, pitching coach with Felix.
It's a foul ball. Felix takes his leave. 2014 season. Finishes, gets the win here today. If things hold up, they'll be 15-6 with a 2.14 ERA. Strikeouts, as Saunders is aboard. 7 more strikeouts for Felix. Finishing the top 5 as we take a look at our Geico This Date in MLB history. Tony Gwynn, the late great Hall of Famer. Lasted 8 National League batting titles, tying Honus Wagner. This happened back in 1997. Finishes the season with a .372 batting average. Felix finishes with 248 strikeouts. Check what David Price did today. Price was a winner today. Price started the day second to Corey Kluber. He was 6 behind him. Strike 1 to Zunino. So 8 strikeouts for David Price gives him 271. This ball, fly ball, left field. Navarro battling the sun.
Seeing that graphic with Tony Gwynn, it looks like Altuve wins the batting title.
Yeah, they took him out about the 3rd inning today.
Yeah. Victor Martinez was 0 for 3 today. Ended up hitting .335.
Altuve, what a year.
What a year is right.
My goodness. He is one tough out.
He had over 50 stolen bases.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, you know, you don't want to throw him that high pitch. He can get to it. You know, for 5'6", right?
He can get to and will swing at just about anything. I think in this league, he's probably the best bad ball hitter in the league. It doesn't have to be a strike for him to get a base hit.
And he's not waiting around us. We've seen all too many times. First, second pitch, you're throwing a strike, he's hacking.
Handed a note for Chris, and he finished 2 for 4 today, so .341 for his batting average on the day.
I believe that's the best in the majors, right?
I believe so, yes.
Taylor's gone. I'm talking about a sick number. How about Kershaw going to finish with a 1.770 already?
Yeah.
Good grief. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. There's Austin Jackson. Yeah, Altuve's .341 by far. The most. That will get through the hole. Base hit for Jackson. Justin Morneau started today at .319. With Harrison of Pittsburgh right behind him at .318. So check and see how those numbers played up. And McCutchen was right there at .314.
Austin Jackson gets his second base hit, 2 for 4 on the day, and it looks like his season is over. James Jones coming out of the dugout. He will pinch run for Austin.
Good to see Austin pick up a base hit here in the 6th. There's Dustin Ackley.
Wade LeBlanc, left-hander, getting loose in the pen.
2-1 here. One of the things that Lloyd is very pleased about, the way he always talks about the resiliency of the ball club. Remember back in April, they had that 8-game losing streak. They were 7-5. Next thing you know, you turn around, they were 7-13. Got their heads above water. Had another 5-game losing streak. That was in mid-June. A 4-game losing streak in July and a 5-game losing streak in this last road trip. This team continued to bounce back.
And that's one of the things we consistently saw from Lloyd this year is, I guess when things were at their most tense, he was at his calmest, or at least appeared to be that way, and I think that the guys picked up on that.
Three and 1 to Ackley. 2 outs. And there's a strike.
You mentioned the shadows earlier. They're brutal now. Shadows just about to the mound. Really tough on the hitters.
Runners take off. Ackley takes a call, 3rd strike. 6th inning is over. Mariners strand 2, lead 4-0. Nothing Mariners as we head to the 7th. Felix Hernandez. Let's take a look at some more numbers. Cy Young Award candidates. He and Corey Kluber at the top of the list.
Well, right now with Felix, he's in line to get his 15th win of the season. You can see Kluber with 18 wins, but Felix ERA much better than Kluber. Innings pretty close. Strikeouts, Kluber with a little bit of an edge. Opponent's batting average, that's definitely in Felix's favor. Opponent's batting average just over 200 against him on the year. You get down to the 5th in the WAR, Felix will improve in both of those categories. So it'll be interesting to watch. I don't think that with him winning the ERA title again in 15 wins, and of course having that historic run this year of 16 games in a row of 7 innings, 2 runs or less.
Right.
I think that's where he's going to end up taking it, the consistency of Felix all year long. So, but you can take a look at the numbers.
Jimenez popped out. Sean O'Malley. of the year in baseball. Jeter, face of baseball, retires 3,465 hits. Figuring Trout wins the American League MVP, and he basically would be the unofficial face of baseball for the next few years, don't you think?
I would think so, yeah. Joe Vinyl getting loose in the pen. There is Joe. Big part of that bullpen.
O'Malley's gone, 2 away. Second strikeout for Mauer.
Felix winning the Cy Young Award in 2010. His ERA at a 2.27. He's had a better year this year than his Cy Young Award year. A couple more wins also.
They got 13 and 12. If he gets this one, it'll be 15.
15 and 6.
Yeah. Hit pretty well, deep left field, going back. Exactly. And he's there off the bat of John McDonald. Oh, for the final time here in the 2014 season here in Seattle. 7th inning stretch time. Time for God Bless Him. For the final time this season, the Mariners' 7th inning stretch being brought to you by Washington's Lottery and the Department of Imagination. What would you do if you won? Baseball. Got some good ideas there? Look out landing. Turned out to be a beautiful day here in Seattle.
And a great crowd here at the ballpark.
Boy, bittersweet to say the least. Boy, when that score got posted, 4-0 Texas final, losing to Oakland. You could just feel it. The fans were seeing it. You had people around the concourse watching on TV. Felix was in the dugout. He saw it. You could see his shoulders just slump. Tough. Great year, though, for the Mariners. Great year. Wade LeBlanc takes over as Brad Miller. Finally went off. Brad came on, played second base. Went out to get Robinson Cano, left to a big ovation. $2,063,622 Mariners attendance for this year. Great number. Thanks for coming out, folks, and supporting your Seattle Mariners.
Take a look at Brad Miller this year. 123 games played for Brad.
Seager and Cano, a couple Iron Men. Strike 3 called. Got some more numbers. How about Felix and Corey Kluber versus American League teams with losing record? There's a push there, and then against playoff teams, Felix by 1.
Similar opportunities against the competition that they pitched, and you can see what they've done in those games. Current playoff teams.
Wow, 9-3 for Felix with a
169.
Yeah. Boy, money pitching. Morales ground ball to third. Beckham throws him out 2 away. Felix, he's got the edge on that panel for sure.
The Mariners should move to 10-3. Felix leaving the game in the lead today.
Well, here's to him winning that second Cy Young award.
Bring up Kyle Seager. What a year for Kyle Seager. 3 years in a row we've seen him improve offensively. This year I thought he had a great year defensively, but he'll end up leading the club in home runs and RBIs. 25 home runs and 96 RBIs for Kyle.
2 strikeouts and a foul out today. Ground ball into the shift. O'Malley throws him out. To the 8th inning we go. Joe Beimel will take over.
Welcome back to Mariners Baseball on Root Sports. I'm Cindy Kephart, the ultimate Northwest fan from Montana, and I watch all my Seattle Mariners games on Root Sports with Charter. Go Mariners!
Thank you, Cindy. Beautiful day here at the ballpark, the last day of the season. Already got some tweets from people saying, hey, when's spring training start? I'm ready.
I think it's about 147 days away.
Yep, that's what I saw.
Joe Beimel's going to take over for the Mariners. They'll have a really good year for the Mariners this year. Medina getting loose in the pen.
Trent Green to lead it off. Upstairs from Joe. Backup infielder Green, 43rd game for him, 278 hitter, a homer, 11 runs batted in. Pick.
Tough hop. Just talking about Kyle and the defense he has played. Ball came up on the backhanded side, still able to make the play.
Take a look at our Delta Airlines. Keep climbing wild card standings. The Oakland Athletics, they've been in a free fall for the longest time. Today, just their 10th win in the last 30, but it was good enough. Hold back the Mariners by a game here, and they join Kansas City as the 2 wild card teams. Two to Navarro. Solid base hit to center. James Jones will get it back in. Seattle Mariners baseball and Root Sports being brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. And by American Family Insurance. Your dream's out there. Go get it. Find out more at amfam.com/dreams. Lloyd going out to pat on the back to Joe Beimel. Nice year for Joe B. Good work. One of the best bullpen in baseball. 4-0. Mariners as we take a Saying his goodbyes for the 2014 season. Robbie Cano, the two dominant personalities on this ball club. Two big producers, the number one pitcher, the number one player. A well-deserved bow from the King. And here at Safeco Field, we started out with clouds and fog, and skies have brightened beautifully, and 40,823 on hand here. Our final Roots Sports telecast of the 2014 season. Earlier in the ball game, Texas Rangers, they were shut out by the Oakland Athletics, who clinched the second wild card spot, eliminating the Mariners postseason competition. But it has been, nonetheless, it has been a great year. If things hold on, the Mariners are going to win their 87th game. Felix will have his 15th victory, far exceeding preseason prognostications. First pitch from Medina. Jones calls off Hackley. Almost dropped. Sheesh. 2 outs. Capital One Share Builder with the Seattle Mariners, proud to support and benefit Seattle Children's Hospital with its Saves for Kids program. Reach Mariners Save. Capital One Share Builder donates $1,000 to Seattle Children's Uncompensated Care Program. Capital One Share Builder Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Hank Conger will step in. Mariners will put the shift on with Conger hitting. Brad Miller took over at second base for Cano.
Hank today a strikeout looking and a base hit to center. Mariners pitching. Held the Angels to 3 hits today. Mike Scioscia pulling most of his regulars about midway through the ball games, particularly after that Oakland score was posted.
Yeah. We thought that might be the case.
Oh yeah. So we look both like Baltimore in the American League. The National League, quick thought, I'm leaning towards the Dodgers with what they've done. I mean, they've got Kershaw to go.
I think the Dodgers.
I mean, Kemp is hitting lately, and as long as Puig doesn't do something absolutely blow them up, they should be good. I think emotionally I'll be rooting for Pittsburgh Pirates.
McCutchen gets the MVP.
I wouldn't have a problem with it. I'll tell you what, the Harrison kid, the J. Hayes, been tremendous. Holy
plays everywhere.
When we were there May of 13, did he play? I don't remember him playing. Here's a National League postseason story. What else is new? The Cardinals are in. Good for them. Good friend Mike Claiborne, radio broadcaster for them. As they're pre and post, the Dodgers are in. Buccos take on the Giants. Hey, Giants are pitching and defense team.
Washington Nationals.
The Nationals, that's a good ball club.
That's a good club. We saw them here.
That's a good ball club.
Yeah.
They can hit, they got starters, and they got a good bullpen.
That'll be a walk for Conger.
Two outs, 2 on. Now that national team's going to be tough. Gordon Beckham as we get back to the top of the order.
With that walk, Charlie Burbush starting to get loose in the pen. And Rick Wade's out of the dugout, going to have a conversation with Medina.
I gotta guess one of the things he's going to tell him to simplify it. You get good stuff, use it. Try to get too cute.
Yeah, he tries to work off the edges sometimes. He was having a great year, struggled through the month of September. And in large part, just didn't have the command that we saw him have for the first 5 months of the season.
He was nails.
Well, you look at it, 95, 96 miles an hour with some movement and that great slider.
We're talking about looking at teams that might favor in the playoffs. You got Baltimore. We like Baltimore. A lot of respect for Washington. You could have, you could have the old 92-95 World Series if things break right. Beltway World Series. That'd be interesting. One. Washington and Nationals Park and Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Swing and a miss. 38 miles apart. Make for a very interesting World Series. Fans getting their last chance to get their wave on here at Safeco Field.
We made that drive a few years ago when we were in Washington, didn't we?
We didn't play those two teams to back. That's an easy drive. Into the corner. We did the train New York to Baltimore. And another time we did a train New York to Boston. Very old school. $40,823 here at the ballpark today. He did go, and that'll do it. Medina gets out of potential trouble, keeps his shutout working for the Mariners. It's 4-0 Seattle. CenturyLink link to what's next. And what's next is going to be Logan Morrison leading off. The bad dancer making his final appearance out in right field. Damn fun, boy.
Getting plenty of high fives out there, having a good time.
Dave Sims, White Flowers. Great year, Mike. It's been a lot of fun, man.
Been a lot of fun, Dave. And I told you this day was going to come, and it was going to be fun, and the guys were going to get in it. And so
wow,
I think we have a lot to look forward to going into next year, too.
I agree. Boy, the pitching's loaded. They got some young hitters coming, maybe an acquisition of another couple of big bats. It's going to be a lot of phone calls. Jack Z's phone. I'll keep those batteries charged up.
He'll be busy for sure. What a year for all of those guys.
Took it down to the last day. I remember coming out of basketball season and coming into spring training based on what happened last year at 71 and 91. I was like, hey man, just give me 500. I would be ready to be thrilled for 500. And here it is, within an hour or two of almost making, being in a position to make the playoffs.
Good chance for 87 wins, taking this one down today. And Chris Young, what a year. I hope he gets the comeback player of the year. I think that he should.
Oh man.
But what a year.
I don't think there's any question about it. Chris 12 and 9 with a 3.65 ERA. Tom Williamson, some great roles. Sometimes starter, long reliever. There was some discussion about maybe trying to turn him into a starter for next year. Carson Smith, Lucas Lick. How about Carson Smith? Nasty.
Looking forward to watching him next year. Best bullpen in the American League.
For sure. Dominic Leone, boy, he was a sensation. Danny Farquhar, last year's closer. Big role this year. Big role. He's a setup guy. 2-2. Did not go. John Buck, former Mariner catcher, behind the plate now. Full count here in Morrison. Had a good day. 2 runs scored. He's 2 for 3. And Rodney.
Single season save record for the Mariners.
48 of them. They'll win that save championship. Almost grounds out. Here's our CenturyLink link to what's next. And Felix.
Last 5 years, he has 2 of them. ERA title this year at a 2.14. 2010 when he won the Cy Young Award at a 2.27.
Michael Saunders. 2 for 2 of the walk. Runs scored, 2 runs batted in. I thank Bubba Wagner and Robbie Nielsen and Chris Taylor for being with us in the booth here our last 8 years. Thank you, fellas. Everybody in the truck. Our home crew. Best crew in the business. All you folks, guys and gals in the cameras around the ballpark, and audio folks. Tremendous telecast day in and day out. Boy, this beats the heck out of some of the other seasons when we've wrapped it up. I'll tell you that.
It's been a lot of fun this year. You and I have had a good time, and great group of guys, by the way, on top of everything else. Easy to work with.
No question. 3-1. Michael Saunders. Doggone it, I had Monday. I left it wide open, too.
Well, I think everybody did.
Yeah. Big bender for a strike. Third 2 from LeBlanc. Struck him out. 2 outs. Coming up, Mariners post game presented by Delta Airlines.
Like Zunino, be fun to see what he can do next year. 22 home runs on the year this year. Caught a lot of baseball games. Look forward to seeing his improvement.
Tell you what, they can get that batting average up to 230 and stay in that 22 to 28 home run range.
Oh, I think that's going to happen for him.
I think so too. And get up in that maybe 80-90 ribby range. Batting in the 8-hole, boy, they don't like that.
Yeah, catching the way that he does.
Down the line there. Need a couple of thunder sticks. Flat out. And this is the American League. Don't forget, Texas will have Profar, Fielder, Sin-Chu Chu, and Moreland coming back. Possibly Matt Harrison, the left-hander, coming back from the back end. So they're not going to stay bad for long as John Buck tags his old teammate, and that'll do it. Here we go, top of the ninth, 4-0. And Danny Farquhar will come on for the final 3 outs of the 2014 season.
Baseball on Root Sports. I'm Guy Webster, the ultimate Northwest fan from Idaho, and I watch all my Seattle Mariners games on Root Sports with Cable One. Go Mariners!
All right, Guy, thank you very much. Coming up on Mariners Post Game, presented by Delta Airlines, we'll have live camera in the clubhouse and get fellas' feelings on how this season went. Disappointment today, but big picture, Mariners headed in the right direction.
Definitely are heading in the right direction. Anytime you have the type of pitching that they have, and the majority of the guys will be back, you have to feel good about that. They play good defense, and as you mentioned, Dave, just help the offense out.
Yep, a couple of big boy bats.
Who knows what they can accomplish? 87 wins.
Yeah,
when Danny locks this one down.
I mean, you're talking about a team starting today 14th in batting, 11th in runs, 14th in hits, 13th in doubles, 10th in home runs. You jack those numbers up a little bit, man. Look out.
Somewhere in the middle of the pack.
Yeah. Brennan Bosch takes ball one from Danny Farquhar. Base hit going the other way.
Stephen Romero in left field, so Ackley is done with 2014.
Yeah, this is such an interesting way of life doing baseball every day. 162 games, 180 days. And I'll turn my attention to football next weekend at this time. But it's such an interesting way of life. You know what you're doing every day, and then there's going to be something. It's an adjustment. How about you? I mean, you make an adjustment like, all right, what am I doing now? You're always looking at your watch. I got to be there X amount of time. I got to do this, and guess what? You don't have to for a while.
Especially when you do it every day, as you mentioned, starting back in February in spring training.
Usually around Thanksgiving, it hits me as like, wow, I just did all those baseball games. Oh my gosh. I don't think about it as much while we're doing it, but it's like, then all of a sudden it's like, geez. That's what we do.
Especially when you have a year like this where it's fun every day and the guys have a chance to win.
You hate to see it end.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Luis Jimenez, 1-2. Shadows, still not a lot of laughs for hitters and right-hand hitters, and some sunshine, and Danny coming out of the shade there. He did go as they checked with Chad Fairchild. Farquhar picks up a strikeout.
One of the other things that'll be interesting to watch too is this year, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, but the guys probably worked harder this year than any year that you and I have been working here, constantly out early work and doing all those things. And I think that Lloyd and his staff are going to be active over the course of the winter too, to make sure that these guys are taking care of themselves and come to spring training ready to go.
It was exciting being in Lloyd's office, talking to him about Taijuan Walker and Paxton, about getting them down to the Arizona Fall League, and how there were some calls. I saw Chris Gwynn there talking about some calls from South America. Lloyd said, no. The hitters, maybe. We're not sending those pitchers down to South America. That ain't going to happen.
No, they want to keep an eye on the guys.
But they want to stretch Taijuan out. Taijuan would have gotten a start tomorrow had things worked out well. But I want to stretch them both out and have both of those guys ready. And that rotation for next year, whew. Keep Kuma's fingers out of any netting.
Again, that's the reason why they're in such good shape to take another step forward.
And Farquhar with a punch out. Gets O'Malley 2 down. Well, my man, it's been a pleasure. Really enjoyed it, man. Really enjoyed it.
Safe travels to you too, by the way.
Thank you.
Get right after we're going to win next weekend.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Yes, indeed. The Arizona Cardinals and the Denver Broncos.
Yes, sir.
A little national radio.
We'll be together in February before you know
Absolutely. Tell me about it. As we get older, the time goes.
It does. You're absolutely
shrink
right.
on you. Veteran John McDonald. I look for this crowd to give a huge ovation to Lloyd and the Mariners here in his third out. A lot of thrills this season, and again, I don't think too many people thought this was going to be a team that would win like it has, as Romero will chase this one down. There goes a shutout. John McDonald with an RBI double. Bosch scoring. And that'll bring up Grant Green. Strike one, Grant. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Great turnout by Seattle here. Game 162. Here's the 0-2 from Farquhar. Couldn't get him to go. 1-2. Danny ready. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Comebacker. Farquhar will flip. Mariners win 4-1, and the 2014 Mariners are in the history books. Emotional start to today's ball game with an opportunity to be in position for a tiebreaker tomorrow That did not come to be, but a very successful season for the Mariners, who finished 87 and 75. Who thought that was going to happen?
Huge improvement for the Mariners. Lloyd McClendon in his first year here in Seattle had a great year. Should be proud of all these guys. Congratulations to Felix Hernandez, his 15th win of the season today. Wins the ERA title. I'm sure the Cy Young Award will be in his pocket again, second time around for him. But a lot of fun this year, Dave. 87 wins.
Absolutely.
Boy, what an improvement over the 71 they had last year. Well on their way to improving on it going into next season.
Amen. Great job by that man right there. Lloyd McClendon should be, I know he is for my money, Manager of the Year in the American League. Great times. Thank all the staff and crew. Man, it's tough to say goodbye.
It is. I was ready to pack for 5 more days, but it's not going to happen.
Roger that. Roger that. Mike, pleasure as always, my man. Best to you and the family. Safe travels and everything.
Same.
And right now, Mariners post game presented by Delta Airlines begins right now with Brad, Bill, and Dave.
All right, gentlemen, we don't have to say goodbye to them just yet. We'll hopefully bring them back on the post-game show. We won't say goodbye either, but standing ovations seemingly all day long. You guys got one as well when you came on here to the set here. It was a nice moment out in the pen. We kind of stand up, enjoy it. But
by your family.
Yeah, by you. Yeah, the girls are happy to see you. But echoing what those guys said, I mean, you see Lloyd McClendon, doffing the cap there. He's getting ovations. Everybody's standing up and clapping for this team, and rightly so, because they gave us a lot to watch and a lot to enjoy here these last couple of weeks.
I mean, there's a lot of pieces. Certainly getting Robinson Cano to join the Mariner organization and take that huge step. But Lloyd McClendon, I don't know how you get around not seeing this guy as Manager of the Year. Completely turns a team around that's been on a losing skid for a long period of time and changed the culture. I mean, it makes me think, Dave, of what Lou Piniella did here. Now, they're not the same guy, but the culture changed. The urgency to win and no excuses.
Yeah, I think that the improvement in personnel, you saw Logan Morrison right there, who had a tremendous last month of the season, really helped the Mariners get back in this. Dustin Ackley, much improved again. He looks like he's taken another step forward. James Jones, I think he's emerged on the scene as a guy that's going to be a part of this future. And a tremendous year by Fernando Rodney, setting a new save record for the Seattle Mariners. I like the young arms in that bullpen. These guys that kept showing up, I'm like, man, how many more they have down in AAA? But they kept bringing them up, and they were performing at a high level late in the year. And it's good to see Michael Saunders finally healthy and swinging the bat.
Got a couple of doubles and RBIs. Yeah, so 87 and 75. Lomo and the rest of the guys handing out, wow, it looks like goodie bags out there. Got T-shirts thrown out to the fans out there, probably some hats, either some batting gloves, whatever else they've got they can give away. So 16-game improvement. And boy, you go back to the beginning of the year, I don't know if anybody saw 87 and 75, Bill. Honestly.
We saw that losing streak in April. They got turned around by dramatic home runs by Kyle Seager. And then they started to slowly and surely pull it together. Their pitching got healthy. Irakuma came on the scene. Elias was a big surprise. Chris Young was a huge surprise. And suddenly, along with this ever-deepening bullpen that you referenced, Dave. I mean, I've never really seen anything like it, where you could put 4, 5, 6, 7 relievers in a game, and you never get a good look at anybody, and they pass the baton without a blink, having the best ERA in the American League in baseball, the toughest bullpen to hit, and then you add Carson Smith at the end, which looks like the second coming of Jeff Nelson. I mean, it's the great 9 now.
And Mike Zunino, big power numbers, drove in some runs. And we just quickly had just seen James Paxton, another young guy who, last year in September, he had 3 wins, and we were wondering if he could do it during the course of the season, and he certainly has proven that.
Mike Zunino handing out the jersey, still got the gear on. Zunino doesn't want the year to end either. Lloyd McClendon shaking hands out there, thanking the fans. They came out over 2 million for the first time since 2010. There's no tiebreaker game, no postseason. But they came really, really close, just a game away. It came down to the final game of the year. How did it all happen? Well, let's figure it out. And I'm curious to see if the bullpen guys got to give away the pink backpack, too. What if they throw that in the crowd? Let's go to our Ford Sports Desk with Angie Mentink, showing us how it all kind of broke down today and what happened out there in Texas, Ange?
I don't think those bullpen guys want to give up those pink backpacks. It's interesting that the Mariners season ends the same way it begins, with the sweep of the Los Angeles Angels. But of course, they needed help today by the Texas Rangers. Of course, Texas did not want to see Oakland clinch on their home field, and the A's get on the board in the second inning. Josh Reddick hits one over the head of Leonis Martin. The triple is going to score Brandon Moss. The next batter is Stephen Vogt, and he doesn't get much, but it's enough. He bloops one. That scores Reddick. The A's lead 2-0, and from there, the story was Sonny Gray. In the fifth, he gets Adam Rosales to hit into the double play. And then Gray still on in the ninth inning. He gets Jake Smolinski, who's batting over 400 against Oakland, to fly out. Second complete game shutout for Gray in Texas this year. And the A's earn the second wild card in the American League, breaking all of our hearts here in the Northwest. 4-0 the final. It will be the A's 18th trip to the postseason in their history. So here is our final look at the AL wildcard standings presented by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. Kansas City owns the top seed in the wild card race. Oakland's win eliminated the Mariners, who will finish a game back of the A's. So here are the wild card matchups. Oakland and Kansas City will play on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. That one will be in KC. Then Wednesday, it's the National League wild card game. The Giants travel to Pittsburgh to face the Pirates, who are in the playoffs for the second straight year. But you cannot help it, guys, to get the feeling that somehow, some way, that we are battling or bottling this feeling up, and we'll use this moving forward. We have got lots to get to. Jen's in the clubhouse. I'm on my way there. Brad and the guys are out in center field. We've got this covered from all angles. Do not go anywhere.